that's just the way it fucking is.
Hi lovelies! So I'm going to do a little bit of a mental health chat today. I know I've been saying I was going to do this for a while and a lot of you have asked for it, so I'm excited to do it. It was long overdue because, as a lot of you probably know, it's hard to open up about your experiences and just your mental health. So I made some little notes here and I'm going to try and do it the best I can, but bear with me. So a lot of my depression, it started, I would say, when I was like 13 to 14 when my parents separated, and it was really, really, really hard on me. And that's when I first began cutting myself. And And yeah, coming from a very traditional Italian family, like didn't really believe in depression. Like it's not like a proper sickness, so it's not like a real thing. So it wasn't addressed for a really, really long time. So basically I went all through high school hiding, cutting myself, and I would say that most of my family avoided it too. It was just kind of, that was something that was there, but nobody really addressed. And I didn't have a lot of friends in high school, and I'm sure a lot of you understand, like, you try to get acceptance from your peers, and I never fit in, and I was also super bullied by my teachers at school. Yeah, I had this one teacher once who would always pick on me by the way that I dressed, and just, I think she thought she was like poking fun, but it was always like pinpointing me in class and made me embarrassed all the time. But like this one time she was talking about this poem we were reading about, and one of the lines in the poem said like something about a cadaver, and then someone in the class was like, what does a cadaver mean? And my teacher's like, oh, ask Bella, she knows what a cadaver means. And I remember being like, oh, like it's a dead body. But like she would always like ask things that she thought like another time there was like candles in the back of the class, and the teacher was like, oh, Bella, is that for your rituals? Are you gonna invite us to your rituals? And I was like, oh, those aren't my candles. Like, it was just like always really weird and awkward and like uncomfortable. And like I would come into school and the woman who would work at the front desk would always say something nasty about my outfit. She's like, oh, why are you wearing lipstick to school? Are you trying to get all the boys' attention? She's like, oh, you're looking for the wrong attention. So I would get that. And then this other time I went on a school trip. It was a trip for theater. And the entire theater club left me at the hotel when we were in like the middle of nowhere because they didn't want me to come. And I remember they were gone all day, and they left me at this like deserted dorm by myself. And I remember being like, what the fuck? Like, and I just thought it was normal. Oh my God, I remember that. I was really upset about, because it was like my ex-boyfriend. He was also in the drama club, and he probably told the drama club to leave because like he didn't want Bella there, which was really hurtful. But there was like tons of very hurtful things that occurred in high school, and I'm sure that you've had those similar experiences too. So yeah, a lot of those social experiences definitely didn't help with my depression, because I never really had a friend at my school who helped me go through all the things that I was going through. But I had a best friend throughout high school. She was never at my school, but we would hang out a lot on the weekends. I miss her so much. Her name is Sasha, but she lives in Toronto and I'm in Winnipeg now, but I see her when I go to Toronto. So yeah, one of my major escapes when I was in high school was Tumblr. And I've talked about it before. I did like a live video once, and I know a lot of you like missed out on it and wanted me to do a YouTube video talking about Tumblr specifically. So yeah, Tumblr was an escape for me. It was a place where I definitely had my online friends, and that's when I first started delving into my like online persona. And it was dark because at first I started and I had a gore blog, and I would just like reblog like all this gory stuff, and like that was my way of like, it was my vice and my escape to like go repost a bunch of gore on this like stupid blog that I had. But I made like all these really negative friends, and you know when you're surrounded by friends that have oh my god, I'm like shaking, have a similar thoughts to you, it makes it feel like it's okay. Like, oh, we're talking about cutting ourselves and that's okay. And they weren't. And I remember I would talk to a lot of, like this one girl who was like a total heroin addict, and she was a teenager. And I would think it was so cool that like she was a heroin addict because like people posted about it on Tumblr. And it's just like so crazy that it became a norm because you saw it so much. And you could say the same about like in films and when you get desensitized to like seeing a lot of blood. Oh, there she goes. Well, the poster fell, which I expected to happen. Anyways, yeah, so Tumblr. That is like, I feel like I should just do a whole video on Tumblr because I feel like that's totally something to dive into and create a discussion about so that we could kind of all expand on our experiences with Tumblr and just address those issues. But it really ties into the whole friend aspect because those are like my online friends. And when you have friends that you're just like, you're making negative seem okay because like they agree with it too. I struggled all throughout high school and I was never medicated on any antidepressants because my family didn't really believe in it. So I never had something to help me with that. And then when I graduated high school, oh my God, that was so bad. I didn't have any friends at the end of high school. And I remember just like dreading even doing my graduation. But like my family wanted me to do things very normally at the same time. They were like, you have to go to a public school, you have to graduate, you have to be there. And I'm like, okay, yes, of course I want to graduate. But I didn't want to go to the graduation. It was like so dreadful. And then I had to do the normal traditional path. So I applied to schools and I went straight to college from high school, which was not a good decision for me. I should have like just focused on, I didn't even really know then actually what my passion was. So I'll get to that. Anyway, so I went to school in Montreal for 2 years and I went directly from high school, and I went to high school in Toronto, and Montreal's 5 hours away, so I wasn't close to my family or anything. It's a 5-hour drive. So I moved there and I was in the dorms for the first year. It's really hard for me to make friends, so I didn't really make that many friends in first year. I made one friend who wasn't even a good friend. We were like drug friends, and I'm sure a lot of you understand, like when you're friends with someone else who does drugs, that like makes it okay. And so I was doing a lot of drugs in first year. I was cutting myself like crazy. I was doing all sorts of self-harm. And for a second I had a friend group. I made a group of friends when I was living in Montreal who were a totally shitty group of friends. This is so hard. And then by second year of college, I had like a pretty extreme Xanax addiction, and my family had moved to Winnipeg. And so the reason I moved to Winnipeg was because my mom was like, you're leaving school, you're coming home, and you're gonna like take a break. And I did not want to leave. I had this like shitty ass boyfriend who was like cheating on me with like my other friend. And I ended up coming back to Winnipeg, not willingly. My mom like booked me a flight and she's like, you better be on that flight. And it was for the best that I left. And not till I left and had a little bit of clarity did I realize how shitty all of those friends were that I made. Like, it's better to have no friends than a bunch of shitty friends. And I want you to know that too. Like, don't be surrounding yourself with people because it just fills a void. Like, actually have substantial friends. That's what really matters. And I learned that when I moved away, and I ended up cutting out all of those people that were negative influences. And I don't want to blame like all of those people. Like, I know I take it on to myself too. Like, I chose a lot of the things that I did to myself. And when I moved to Winnipeg is when I started Depop. And Depop had reached out to me a few months before, and now I've been on Depop for like 2.5 years, I think. I just really started to focus on like clothing and curating a brand, and that really helped me, and it made me discover truly that like my passion was in fashion. Yeah, so it took a while when I first moved back to Winnipeg to have a clear mind. I definitely relapsed a few times once I came back, and then I started doing Depop full-time, and I knew that I couldn't be unstable. To run a brand and to run a business, you can't be unstable. You have to be fully 100% there and ready to move on to that next chapter of your life. And it took some time, but then I was ready for it. Oh yeah, so when I moved back here too, This is like totally grazing the surface and like simplifying everything, but I just thought that it would be good to kind of start talking about this. Yeah, when I came back to Winnipeg and had one of my serious attempts that I did here, I went to the hospital for a little while, and then I was medicated finally at 20. I was medicated for the first time for depression, which is crazy because I should have been medicated a long time ago. I think I would have been in a more stable time earlier because I'm 22 now and I feel good. But yeah, that's when I was medicated on Prozac, and now I'm on Prozac and Wellbutrin, and it's been a good balance for me, and it's been helping me. And I'm not saying medication is the answer. Like, a lot of people, medication doesn't work for them, and if it just means that you're doing physical activity regularly or just other things that you're passionate about as hobbies, and if that helps you, then like that's great. But for right now, the medication's helping me. I'm very much looking forward to one day where I don't have to be medicated and I could be running like a normal individual. But yeah, right now it's definitely helping me. So yeah, I want to kind of delve into my coping mechanisms because yes, I do feel better than I have in my entire life now, but I do still face those days where I have manic depressive episodes. So when I get to those places, I find that my most helpful thing is to just sleep. And I know a lot of people can say that's avoidance, but right now that's what's helping me, is I will like force myself to sleep. No matter time of the day, I'll be like, I need to go to bed right now, because my mind will just like run, and sometimes I can't handle those suicidal thoughts, so I just like put myself to bed. But I know that there's like a lot of other positive ways that I should be going about it. Like, I should be doing more physical activity, which is something that I do need to incorporate in my life, and just like other things that make me happy. Definitely other coping mechanisms for me is my job. Like, whenever I'm feeling down and out, I like to like create something new. Like create a new loot bag or create a new bundle that I could be posting on my Depop. And that really helps me to use that as an outlet of my creativity. And also I would say tattoos help me a lot too, because when I want to self-harm, I find that that is a way that I could avoid self-harming in a creative way. And like, it's positive to me. Like, my mom doesn't like tattoos, but it's definitely a positive outlet for me, and it has helped me cope with not self-harming or doing other vices that I had before. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of start the conversation because I really want to focus on my channel about mental health too, because I just want to talk about it more to make mental health less taboo, and that we can all just be our most vulnerable selves and just help each other, because I want to help you too. So I just want you to let me know in the comments below any other topics that you'd like me to expand on. Like, I think I should do a full video just on Tumblr and my experiences, where we can just like create that discussion, and just anything else related to mental health that you'd like to hear me talk about, let me know in the comments below. And I just wanted to say to any of my angels suffering right now, it gets better. Please, please, please be around your loved ones. Don't surround yourself with people who hurt you emotionally or physically, of course. And you are so loved. And I'm here and I want to help, so love you.